Hello and welcome to another video. This is another LED project, and what this is going to do is some sort of pattern on this what is it, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, is that 1 2 3 4 5 6, yes, 7-legged star that we got here. Got two colours LEDs, this one here, which I presume is sort of red and yellow or green or something, being colourblind. I don't really know. Or red. There we go. Red ones are here. There we go. Right. Power cable, transistors, 2 ICs, power, variable resistors. I presume that's going to change the speed or something. There's a capacitor there, 2 other capacitors. So quite a simple kit. We've got some resistors down here. Don't know the values yet. Mainly because on the board, if we look at the board, we've got one odd capacitor down there, which is a 10k. We've got 1k, which is marked on the board, and we've got a blank. So let's have a quick look at the resistors next. Now, I've done a quick check on the internet, and this board slightly lies, and I'll explain why. You'll see that some of them are marked with a 1k, that one there, that one there, that one there, etc. So you would have thought that all those marked with a 1k are actually 1k. And the ones without labels are going to be the other value, whatever that is. Actually, that's incorrect, because I've just had a quick look on the eBay listing, and what it's telling me is this: that R1, R11 to R20 is 1k. So R1, R11 to 120. So we'll look back at the board. Well, R1 is just there, which is not labelled up. And then R11 to 20 is the 1k. So that one, although it's not labelled up, is also 1k. Same as that one, etc., all the way around the board. So don't make the assumption that all the unmarked ones are the same, because that one is a lie. So R2, which is there, is actually the start of the blank ones, and they're 200s all the way around. So R1 to R11 to R20. That makes 11. So if we have a look at our resistors here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So that's those. We know the odd one is by itself, which is a 10k. So all the rest must be, by logic, these here. So I think that's how we're going to do it. We'll do the odd one first. We'll get that one on first. Then we'll get the ones that we can count and we know on afterwards. So this is how I get round not knowing the values of things, by counting. If I do need to use my tester, as you've seen in other videos, which I've got my tester here, I can use that, but I think this time we should be all right by just counting them. So let's start off doing what we know first. We've got a little capacitor which isn't marked plus or minus, and that goes at the bottom, so we can pop that in. It goes down there. We know the one resistor by itself is its own value, so we can put that one in. Which is the 10k down there. What else do we know? Well, the 2 capacitors, we can look at those. So this one is marked 220, So there's a 10 just there, and there's a 220 on the side here, so let's get that one in. The minus is marked here, which is the short leg. Long leg is positive, short leg is minus. Minus is there, and that goes to the shaded area on the left hand side. So let's put that one in. And we also know that the other capacitor, which is the 10U, so again this one here, this has got a long leg and a short leg. Long leg positive, short leg minus. It's also minus, which goes to the shaded area on the main board. There we go, let's put that one in. Okay, so let's get those soldered up. Okay, let's get those on. Chop off the legs. Okay, so I'm just doing a quick check on those, make sure everything's soldered up by the looks things it is. Right, what's next then? Okay, so I think I'll do the variable resistor next, which pops in there. There we go. So that's that one done. What else have we got? We have a power, which is this one here. 3 legs, that's 5 volts. That goes up there. So I'm just holding it with my thumb one side and just giving it a splodge of solder just to hold it in place. Then I can do the rest of the legs. Here we go. They're a bit tight then, but it looks okay. So that's that one done. Right, so what's next then? Okay, so we've got quite a few transistors around the board. They are all the same, 9013. So I think we'll get those on next. So if we look at the legs, oh, this is okay. So if we look on the circuit board, so the legs are in a bit of a triangle, but the legs themselves that I've got on my transistor, let's get that in focus for you, are straight. So we're going to have to bend the middle leg out a bit. So the outer two will bend and the middle one will leave straight. Okay, let's get that in then. Oh, and by the way, the end of the transistor, we've got a round and a flat, and that matches the round and the flat on the circuit board as well. Okay, so that's that one done. And we're just going to do exactly the same with the others as well. And behind the circuit board I'm just bending the legs slightly so I can get them on. Again, just bear in mind that the flat on the top ones are pointing downwards and the flat at the top on these are pointing upwards, so just be careful when you're putting these in. Right, missed one, there we go. Have I missed any? I've got two spare ones on my desk still. Ah, there's one, I missed it. You see it now? That leg won't bend. Try that again. There we go. Right, okay, so I've now got those in. Can't see anymore, so let's solder the legs up. Now, these look actually quite close together, these. Right, you'll see I've left a leg on those and I just need to snip the other ones off so I can get to it easy. Okay, so that's got those done. Right, I'll solder the rest up and come back to you in a minute. So I had missed two. You obviously spotted them before me, which are the two in the middle there, so I thought you can join me again while we just do the last couple. So let's get them done now. So I don't have two spare transistors, which I thought I did. So there's one. And there's the other one. Now I have to say that these legs are very close together, so if you are going to build one of these kits, just be very careful. Right, okay, so that's got those done. Oh, that one doesn't look particularly good. Let's see if I can just zoom in on that one to show you. Okay, so that top leg doesn't look particularly fantastic. So let me just reflow that. That looks better now. Okay, so that's got our transistors on. Got mine the components on, so I think the next job is the resistors, or shall I do the ICs? You know, I'm actually tempted to do the ICs next, which are down here, because there's no resistors near them. The only resistor was the one that we've already done. Yeah, let's do the ICs next. So we've got two ICs that we need to double check. So first of all, let's just check the legs, make sure they're roughly about straight, which they are. Going from top to bottom, they look okay. And the other one, this is the famous 555 timer. So yeah, that looks okay. So let's put them in here, and let's just make sure all the legs are straight that way. Okay, so that's hopefully got all the legs about straight, so we can put them on the board. Now I do prefer putting the ICs into IC holders first, but they haven't supplied any with this kit. So I'm going to be soldering straight onto the ICs. So if we look on the ICs here, we've got a little cutout just there, and on that one it's just at the top. So this first IC that we've got here is going to go on this bit here. That's got a cutout on the end there. Looks that matches up with that. So let's get that one in. That drops in okay. So I'm just going to pop a bit of solder on just to hold it in place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to hold my finger against it there, and I'm just going to press down against the circuit board while I just unsolder, just so I can make sure that the IC is flush against the board. It's not flush against the board, but it's not actually going through, so it is as close to the board as it can go. Okay, let's do the same with the timer IC. So again, we're looking for that cutout, and on this one it's here, but on the circuit board it's up there next to that resistor. So just push that resistor very slightly out, turn our IC around, let's see if we can pop that in. There it goes. That little leg straightener that I bought is an absolute godsend, it really is. So pop a bit of solder on there. That's it. Sorry you couldn't see that. Just a moment please. Right, I just adjusted the circuit board so you can see better now. So again, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to hold my finger behind it and push against it. That's it, just to make sure it's as flush as it'll go, and then we can do the rest of the legs. Now, because I'm not doing a IC holder, I'm going to do opposite. So as you can see, I'm just trying to keep the heat down as much as possible. Although there's a few lines of thought on this. There's people that say that doing opposites actually increases the heat, some say it decreases the heat. So who knows really. Okay, let's get the rest of them done. Okay, so that's got all those done. Again, I like to just double check, make sure all the connections were all right on both of those, which they do. So that's got the ICs on. Okay, so what's next then? Well, I think the only thing we've got left is the resistors, so let's have a look at those. Okay, so I've just laid out the resistors here. The 10k we've already put on the circuit board. So what we've got left is 9 of the 200 ohm and 11 of the 1k. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So those 9 must be the 200 ohm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they must be the 1k. So let's start, I think we'll start with the 200 ohms for 9 of. They go R2 to R10. So looking at the circuit board, R2 starts just there. So R2, R3, 4, 5, and then it jumps over here to 6. So let's put those in first. Again, don't forget we're starting at R2 and not R1. So as before, just bending the legs out just to hold it in place. Okay, so that's R2, R3, R4 and R5 are all in place. Okay, so let's solder those up. Okay, so let's got those done. So we'll start then on R6. And 7. And 8 is over here. Number 9. And finally, number 10. Right, let's get all those done. Right, so that's got all those resistors. So the only resistors that we've got left now are these. So let's get cracking with those then. Right, that's got all the resistors done. We do have a bit of an awkward one here though. If you look at that resistor there, it's kind of popped out a bit. So let's see if we can just push that down against the circuit board a bit more. So I'm just going to hold it in my finger, or my thumb even, or in my finger, that side. This is where you normally end up burning your fingers off, but there we go. Just going to warm up the solder here, and I'll just push it through. Doesn't seem to want to go. It has moved. I've got a bit of a leg through there. Let's just try that again, see if I can just push it through a bit more. Yeah, it's just moved very slightly. Yeah, it's been pushed against the circuit board where the resistor is itself rather than the leg. Right, let's see if we can do this. So if I hold it in my pliers, there we go. I just warm the solder up and just pulled it through. Yep, that's better. Right, I can snip that leg off now. There we go, that's better. Right, okay, so as I said, that's got all the resistors in. So the next thing we do is the LEDs. So for the LEDs, we have our LED here. And on this LED we have a long leg and a short leg. The long leg is a positive. And if we look at the circuit board, you'll notice that there's a square connection and a round connection. The square is a positive. So the long leg goes on that side to the square. On the actual circuit board itself, we need to make a pattern. And we're going to start off with the green one just there, and then we put in a red one next to it, and then we put in one of these, and then we put in a red one, and we'll do that all the way down. Now in the middle, the one in the middle, we're going to put a red one right in the middle. So let's see if we can make sure this works out right. Okay, so there's a pattern going down. The ones in the middle looks like they're going to be the green all the way around in this square with the red in the middle, right in the middle of the circuit board. So that's going to be the pattern that we're going to do all the way through, like that. So I'll solder these up, then I'll pause the video, I'll do a bit more, and I'll come back to you in a minute. So let's do a bit of soldering first. So I'm going to hold the LEDs on my finger this side, make sure they're pushed up against the circuit board while I move the legs out just so that it holds them into place. Well, we'll just legs get out of the way. Okay, so let's solder those up. And by the way, those observant of you would have noticed I've changed my soldering iron tip. I've gone for a pointed one. The reason why I've changed it, as you can see, it's these connections are very close together, and when I was soldering with the other tip I was getting quite a lot of links between the two pads. So I've changed to a more of a pointed tip, so I should be able to concentrate the solder into the actual place where I want it. Okay. So that's got all those done, as you can see, all the way down there. So we're going green, red, green, red, green, red, red in the middle, solder them up. So I'll do some more of these legs and I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, okay, so I finally finished soldering all the LEDs. That's the front side of it, and the reverse side is there. So all the soldering is done. Now, before I put the power on, the thing that I do is I double check all the connections. I've got my magnifying glass here with a light on it, but just there. So before I start the video, I just double checked it all. Now, I did notice that some of the IC connections on here didn't look too good, but under the microscope they're all soldered. So I think that'll be okay. On the flip side, on the front side, looking at all the LEDs, they're all just about straight. Now we haven't screwdriver gone. We can add ground and VCC, which is plus what we've got 4 to 5 volt on there, but we've already put the USB 5 volt plug and socket. The socket is on here, so I'm not going to do that. Let's have a quick look. I have got a couple of pins here, just here, so if I wanted to use that I can do, but I'm going to stick with the actual socket instead. So that's all done. So I think what we'll do is power it up and see what happens. So let's turn a bit of light off. The cable is here, so let's undo that. So we've got a little plug there, so that goes in there, and so you see I've got a USB here, so I'll plug that into my socket and we shall see what happens. Okay, so it's doing alternate, so it's doing red and then green, although to me, I'm colourblind, those look red as well. Okay, let's see what the turn that down a bit so it's not as blurry. Let's alter that. Okay, so that speeded it up. And that slowed it down. So yeah, we can see it going green, 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 and then red, 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 and then when it's red the center one goes, when it's green the outer one goes. I presume it's green. Like I say, I'm colourblind. To me those LEDs look exactly the same. There we go. I hope you enjoyed that. That's all done.